Mr. Chair, the Office of the Ombudsman mentioned PS, personal service, as one of the reasons for the increase in its budget from the current year. It appears, however, from the report that from 2020 to 2024, 47% of all posts were unfilled. So can you please enlighten us how we are introducing an increase in the personal service when there remains 47% of our plantilla which are still unfilled? That is from 2020 to 2024, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question.
Thank you for the question, Congressman Luistro. Your Honor, yung mga unfilled positions, wala na since yung office, ay talagang sinasadyang hindi namin mafilapan. Dahil pinag-aralan ko pa mula noon, ano yung nagiging cause ng inordinate delay. Which is a problem, a recurring problem. So bago ako mag-hire ng additional lawyers, pinag-aralan ko muna saan ang problema. So this year, I have decided to merge two important groups, the fact-finding investigation group and the preliminary investigation group. We will be hiring additional lawyers. We will be creating satellite offices in each of the provinces throughout the Philippines. We will be hiring additional lawyers for each of the sectoral offices para po ang magre-represent sa ombudsman sa mga cases before the regional trial courts or the municipal trial courts will no longer be the Department of Justice but the lawyers of the Office of the Ombudsman. So this year, I promise you na once naayos ko yung plantilla namin, which is already in the making and before the end of the year, matatapos na, sisiguruhin ko po sa inyo na there will be additional lawyers in the Office of the Ombudsman. Investigation of cases will be speed up. Kabibilisan po namin investigasyon ng mga kaso. And I have proven that na madali lang naman pala. Pwede pala kami mag-imbestiga ng cases nang walang isang taon tapos kami sa investigasyon. So with this, pagpasinsan lang po ninyo, yung mga unfilled positions ay sinisiguro ko po sa inyo mapifill up na po yan. But if there are unfilled positions tungkol sa mga administrative personnel, maaaring alisin ko na po yon. Kasi hindi po kailangan ng ombudsman yung mga non-lawyers. Mas kailangan po ng Office of the Ombudsman mga abogado. At mas kailangan po ng Office of the Ombudsman yung IT. Problema po namin sa Office of the Ombudsman ay yung aming IT. Itong taon po nito, na-discover namin na na-hack yung aming system. Yung mga may kaso pala sa amin, kaya pala alam nila kung nasaan ang kanilang mga kaso, kasi 3 tao pala ang nakatingin sa aming firewall. So, because of that, 2 of our personnel from the Management Information System are on preventive suspension because of this. Hindi ho biro na alam po ng respondent na ginagawa pa lang yung desisyon ay may nakakakita na. So there was a time when I advised the lawyers not to use the internet of the Office of the Ombudsman. Marami po kayong problema, but doon sa unfilled position, sinisiguro ko po sa inyo, Your Honor, na within the year, we will be hiring additional lawyers for the Office of the Ombudsman. Marami pong salamat.
Justice, ilan po ngayon ang abogado ng Ombudsman?
Hindi ko po masyadong ang bilang, but nung araw po kasi may mga bureaus na pukunti po ang abogado, ayaw ng director mag-hire. But right now, according to this data given to me, there are about a total of 353 lawyers, all in all, from the central office to the sectoral offices. So, dadagdagan po namin ito ng another about 400 to 500 lawyers.
Ngayong taon pong ito?
Ngayong taon pong ito. And we're now starting to hire additional lawyers for the sectoral offices. Kasi, hindi ko alam kung dapat kong sabihin ito, iba-iba pa po kasi yung numero ng abogado ng bawat sektor. I mean, the Ombudsman for the Visayas has a different number of personnel sa Ombudsman ng Mindanao, sa Ombudsman ng Luzon, o sa Ombudsman ng Muleo. Ang nangyari po noon ay nagpalakasan sa Ombudsman. Pag malakas ka sa Ombudsman at sinabi mo, ma'am, mag-hire ako ng additional lawyer, at sinabing okay, mag-hire ka ng additional lawyer. Isa pang problema sa Office of the Ombudsman ay yung wala namang term yung opisyal, pero mayroon siyang coterminous na item. Dapat ang mayroon ng coterminous employee ay yung may mga term. The Ombudsman, the Overall Deputy Ombudsman, and the Deputy Ombudsman. Dito po, pati Director, mayroong coterminous employee. Kasi nung nakaraan po, palakasan nga. Isa ngayon, nagmukhang kontrabida ako sa Ombudsman, especially with the merger of two offices. Na ang sabi ko sa kanila, jokingly, whether you like it or don't, tutuloy ko yung merger. But I am serious. Those who will not abide by this, kung ayaw ninyo magtrabaho sa Office of the Ombudsman, they can all tender the resignations and transfer to other offices. I mean it because lagi kaming pinupuna, hindi lamang ng judiciary, but by the public, na ang bagal daw ng investigasyon ng kaso. So ngayon, bibilisan namin ang investigasyon ng kaso, pipilitin namin na ang kaso ay matapos ang investigasyon within a period of at least 2 years in accordance with the decision of the Supreme Court in one case. And incidentally, Your Honor, before I go further, yung pong kaso ni Parladi that was filed in 2022, which is 006, ay na-dismiss na po. Another case against Badoy, which was filed also in 2022, which is 008, is still ongoing investigation. The other cases pending against Parlade and other employees ng PCOO ay na-file po ito noong pang 2005. I will check on this and there's still ongoing investigation. That's why I'd like Your Honor to request the Honorable Congressman Manuel to give us a copy, a list of this. And before the end of the day, I will give you the status of these cases. Marami pong salamat.
Mr. Chair, let me just express my appreciation to all the pronouncements of our Honorable Ombudsman, most especially the combination of the fact-finding and the preliminary investigation into one office. Let me express also the appreciation of this representation to the attention he has accorded to the integrity of decisions and resolutions before they are released by the Office of the Ombudsman. Moving forward, Mr. Chair, it appears from the report that there are unused appropriations. For 2020, it's 615.1 million. For 2021, it's 518.3 million. And for 2022, it's 526.7 million. May we ask, what seemed to be the challenge of the Ombudsman on these unutilized amounts, which could have been utilized in the other needs and concerns of our country? Mr. Chair.
Before the Ombudsman answers this, I'd like to acknowledge and recognize our Senior Deputy Speaker, Don Gonzales.
Mr. Chair, I understand that 2020 to 2022 pertains to the period of time where Ombudsman Martires is not yet in office. So may I just ask about the fiscal year 2023, whether the Ombudsman is on track in terms of utilization? Mr. Chair.
The Office of the Ombudsman on the unused appropriations, these are actually, they remain valid obligations until fully spent. The previous year's appropriations taken up as continuing appropriations are earmarked for other expenses, like prior year's obligation of wages increase for security and janitorial services. Aaminin ko po sa inyo, nang tawag po sa akin ng COA, ako po ay isang waray-waray ng ugali Ilocano. So if you've noticed that two of our Deputy Ombudsman, one from the Visayas and one in Mindanao, are absent, because I told them, wag na silang pumunta, sayang yung pamasahe. Pambigay na nito ng bonus sa Pasko sa mga empleyado, pandagdag bonus. So, kung hindi po kami magtitipid, hindi po kami magkakaroon ng savings. And right now, I am trying to save more because of our plan to buy more hardware para sa aming IT, and which the software will be provided by a foreign country. Pero siyempre, yung hardware noon at sa pamasahin ng mga pupunta sa Pilipinas, isasagutin ng Office of the Ombudsman. Marami pong salamat.